Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, September 6th. Back to school for many kids. Some schools started last week, but the rest of them will be starting this week here across the state. And the headlines, it could be a pretty wet week. Today is going to be a very uncomfortable day in many schools across, especially southern lower Michigan. I think we'll have dew points in the low 70s with temperatures getting into the mid 80s, maybe even a 90-degree here and there, but most likely it'll be in the mid 80s. But certainly with the humidity and the dew point, it's going to be just a terrible feeling day sitting in the classroom on the first day of school. And we'll have, again, warm and sticky conditions. We'll have the best chance of any showers or thunderstorms. Today will be across the northwestern portions of the MAC area. I think a better chance for all areas Wednesday, later on Wednesday into Wednesday night. And then again, as we get into late Friday into early Saturday, as the cold front will come through, and that'll bring in some cooler and drier air for the weekend. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 77, our normal low is 53. And a year ago, we had a warm high of 88 and a low of 64 with no precipitation. If we look at the conditions around the area yesterday for Labor Day, you can see temperatures well into the mid 80s across many areas, and we had dew points around 70. So we had heat indexes in the low 90s. So very uncomfortable, sticky day yesterday, and it'll be probably a little bit worse today than it was yesterday. And the only precipitation recorded actually was probably from dew. It was recorded early in the morning over at Brown City with some of the fog around. That's not surprising. If we look at the conditions around the area this morning, you can see very warm temperatures out there, mainly low 70s with very high humidities. And if we look at the radar, you can see some of the showers and thunder showers across the UP. Now, most of this activity is going to remain off to the northwest of us, but eventually that whole system is going to be sagging to the southeast, and we'll see thunderstorms develop, I think, across the areas from northern Michigan back towards say the Cadillac, Houghton Lake area, maybe even Mount Pleasant, Elma, Breckenridge area, and back towards Grand Rapids and down towards Kalamazoo for later this afternoon. But again, the best chance will be the farther northwest you go. And then again, all areas will get in on the showers and thunderstorms later tomorrow. You can see the only lightning threat we're really seeing for the most part is still back in Wisconsin up towards the western UP. And some of these areas are some pretty dangerous lightning strikes. And again, that's the area where we expect severe thunderstorms to be most prevalent here over the next 24 hours. You can see on satellite some of those colder cloud tops developing off to the west of us, northwest, and that's where the area of heavy thunderstorms are expected across portions of Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and creeping into the southwestern portions of the UP. As far as moisture compared to what normal is, so you can see overall we've really made a pretty good comeback once we got into about the 10th of July. Prior to that, very, very dry conditions, certainly cutting back on the yield potentials. And in a graphical format, you can see the different areas. The wettest location for the summer has been Jasper, Marlette, and the driest areas have been Newaygo into St. Thomas, where it's been very dry. And again, much of the damage in St. Thomas done quite early, as they had just horrific growing conditions for the months of May, June, and into the first 10 days of July. If we look at the weather map for this morning, you can see an area of low pressure moving off to our northwest, the big high pressure system pumping all that warm, humid Gulf air right up into the Great Lakes. And as this front begins to slide to the southeast, touching off lots of heavy thunderstorms with heavy rain off to our southwestern portions of the Corn Belt into the upper Great Lakes area. And again, by tomorrow morning, we expect that front to slowly begin to move this area. And we expect by later in the day, we could see some locally flash flood type rains occur from around central Michigan back to the northwest. Again, the best and most likely areas that we see that for tomorrow will be across Wisconsin, northern lower Michigan, back into the UP. And then finally by Thursday, that front's still getting hung up. It's going to remain off to our west, and because of that, we expect at least some scattered thunderstorms on Thursday. But again, many areas may not see any precipitation on Thursday. And then finally, we're going to get a Pacific system that's going to move in from the west, and that's going to help to force this front off to the east, as that tropical system then begins to slowly lift to the northeast. Again, that should get our pattern moving again. And then again, we have a decent chance of severe storms all the way from the Central Plains up into the upper Great Lakes. Again, for Michigan, the best chance of marginal risk of storms will be across northwest lower Michigan and all the UP, with the greatest risk, the slight area, into south central and southwestern portions of the UP. As far as precipitation, here's the Canadian model. It's going to look very similar to what the WPC forecast. Bands of heavy rains are certainly possible. This with the warm front, this mainly as the track of the low goes well off to our northwest. Areas of northern Michigan, closer to the dynamics of that system, will have the best chance of heavy rain. But again, I think all areas have a good shot at picking up between 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inches over the next 7 days. And that includes not only this system for tomorrow or from later this afternoon in portions of the area through tomorrow night, but again for the system that comes in for Friday night and Saturday. And if we look at the WPC's outlook, you can see 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch across the Saginaw Bay and Thumb area, and conditions would indicate at least 1 inch of rain over much of the area to the south and to the west of that area. Again, plenty of precipitation coming up here over the next 7 days. If we look at the extended outlooks for the 6 to 10 day outlook in temperatures, you can see cool troughing developing out west, trying to push east. But again, that Bermuda high is trying to hold strong, and that'll keep warmer than normal conditions across the eastern portions of the United States. And if we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, again, very similar. That trough trying to make inroads, but being squeezed to the south. Warm air will continue across much of the eastern third of the U.S. As far as precipitation, near to above normal for both the 6 to 10 and for the 8 to 14 day outlook. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, a great work week, and 73s to all.